I thought of you because there was a story I wrote. I basically started writing it in class when I had
Uh-huh.
your craft class,
Yeah.
and it literally has scenes of so it's about growing up, and I portray growing up as sort of a soul slicing endeavor on part of the adults. So every year, pieces of the main character's soul get sliced off and tossed. Once he's out of his soul, he's just a shell of who he was.
Right.
He's ready for the workforce. And the twist though is there's this dog that he grows up with who says, "Well, I could just take these and save them for you, and then once they think you're an adult, we'll just go off. I'll give them back to you, and we can live our lives. Screw these guys."
Yeah. I love
Of
this.
course, things don't transpire that way, but this
Right.
is just the idea of a dog being able to save the soul of a human. I love that idea. And I don't know how, I don't remember what you were talking about that seeded that specific idea, but I do remember leaving class maybe a month into the program, to the craft class,
Right.
and getting in my car. I was flying up to Putnam County, and it just hit me. I'm like, fuck, I think I know, I think I have this story. Like,
Ah,
I don't remember what came first, but I remember going home. Usually, I would just go to this house I was staying at in the woods, and I would just go straight to bed because I remember like after your class, the next morning I had to wake up and go to Jake's class. So
yeah.
I had to workshop with Jake,
Yeah.
and I didn't. I stayed up till like 2 writing the first draft. So there was
Wow.
something seeded. It's never happened again. Like
Ah,
you just like you planted something in my brain that just, and I'm not kidding. Like that whole spring after, because that was a fall semester. The spring semester, I told the person in my workshop when we go to our meetings, I'd like you to just kind of help me revise this story over again, again and again and again until the end of the term. That way, as I've never focused on a short piece for long enough for
right.
it to actually be worth anything. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I just wanted to make my workshop about this one piece.
Right.
And so by the end of the term, I had something that I was submitting to places, and it ended up getting published about a year after that.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it was an interesting ride. It
Well,
all
what's
started
funny
with
is,
you.
yeah, but you're talking about a story that that idea is absolutely like I could totally see that somehow being in our orbit sort of coming together over that kind of an idea because uh, I I feel very strongly about what animals give us that nothing else can,
Yeah.
um, and they represent vulnerability. They represent human vulnerability, which is why people are so desperate to protect their pets. I mean, assuming the people have a soul, right? Uh, because we're actually, in a sense, transferring our own sense of vulnerability onto this. It's displaced onto this pet, this dog, usually, let's say. And so that feeling of deep love that we have for a dog, for instance, is in fact sometimes our only access point to this part of ourselves that we can get at, you know. Which is not to take away from the sheer joy of just having a dog, because they're just wonderful anyway. But what you're saying is getting at sort of a really visceral level of what that relationship can be about. I love that. That's a great premise.